Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most secretive and daring operations ever carried out by Israel, a mission so dangerous that even the United States, the creator of the F-35 fighter jet, refused to participate. This is the story of the F-35I Adir, the customized Israeli version of the world's most advanced stealth fighter, and the mission that tested it in ways no other country would dare to attempt. When Israel first received its F-35s, the world watched closely. The F-35 was the crown jewel of American aviation technology, a fifth-generation fighter capable of evading radar, gathering intelligence, and striking deep into enemy territory before anyone even knew it was there. But Israel had its own plans. Unlike any other country, Israel was granted permission to modify the F-35 to its unique defense requirements. They called it the F-35I Adir, which means mighty in Hebrew. And it lived up to that name faster than anyone expected. Soon after entering service, Israeli engineers reprogrammed the jet's systems, added their own electronic warfare suite, and linked it to their entire national defense network. They turned the F-35I into something even Martin hadn't imagined a fully integrated weapon in Israel's digital battlefield. While other nations were still training on how to fly the jet, Israel was preparing to use it for real-world combat. The mission that shocked the world came quietly, no announcement, no warning, and no leaks. Somewhere deep inside hostile airspace, surrounded by advanced Russian-made air defense systems, Israeli F-35s flew a mission that most air forces would consider suicidal. Their objective was to strike strategic Iranian assets that were being established in Syria, assets that threatened Israel's very survival. The challenge was immense. Fly hundreds of miles undetected, avoid S-400 and S-300 missile batteries, neutralize the target, and make it home without being tracked. The U.S., despite its vast experience, had never attempted to send F-35s into an area defended by Russia's most advanced air defense network. The risks were simply too high. The chance of exposure could compromise years of stealth technology development. But Israel decided otherwise. For them, the mission wasn't about testing technology, it was about survival. When the Israeli F-35s took off, their radar cross-section was almost invisible. Each jet carried a mix of precision, guided munitions, and electronic countermeasures, designed not only to strike but to deceive. Flying low and fast, they slipped past radar detection zones that had been studied for months. Israeli intelligence had mapped out every radar sweep, every missile launch site, and every air corridor. It was an operation of absolute precision. As they reached Syrian airspace, the jets split into formations. One group jammed communications, creating electronic ghosts in enemy radar screens. The other descended into strike positions. Within seconds, key Iranian weapons depots and missile facilities were obliterated. The explosions were so precise that even satellite imagery later showed surgical accuracy. Before the enemy could respond, the Adirs had already vanished, retreating back into Israeli airspace, leaving their adversaries stunned and confused. Reports soon surfaced of Russian radar operators who admitted they never even saw the jets on their screens. The mission was so flawlessly executed that analysts initially doubted it even happened. But then, Israeli officials quietly confirmed it. The F-35I had completed its first combat mission, and it had done so against one of the most heavily defended airspaces in the world. This single event changed the way the entire world looked at stealth warfare. It proved that the F-35 was not just a deterrent, In Israeli hands, it was an unstoppable instrument of strategic dominance, but it also raised an uncomfortable question: how far would Israel go to defend itself, and at what cost? Behind the scenes, U.S. defense officials were reportedly astonished. They knew the risks, the potential of exposure, and the danger of losing such an expensive aircraft, but Israel's military doctrine has always been clear: act before you're attacked, strike before the threat becomes real. The success of the mission only reinforced that philosophy. The F-35I Adir became more than just a fighter jet. It became a symbol of Israel's ability to adapt, innovate, and execute. Israeli pilots undergo some of the toughest training in the world, and they treat the F-35I not as an American gift, but as a national tool of survival. Every mission, every flight hour, is optimized for real-world operations. What truly separates Israel's version from the American one is its software independence. While other nations must rely on U.S. systems for updates and maintenance, Israel runs its own code. It means they can change tactics, reprogram systems, and integrate new weapons on their own terms. For example, Israeli engineers installed their own command and control link called C4I, connecting the jet directly to ground forces, drones, and missile defense units. In combat, this gives them an unmatched real-time view of the battlefield. The success of the Adir also sent a strong message to Iran. Despite constant threats and aggressive posturing, Israel demonstrated it could reach anywhere, anytime. Even in areas shielded by Russia's most powerful radar systems, nothing could stop the Adir. The Iranian regime understood that its proxies in Syria and Lebanon were vulnerable, no matter how deep they hid. For the Israeli Air Force, every operation involving the F-35I is not just about power, it's about survival and deterrence. The Middle East remains one of the most volatile regions on Earth, and every neighboring country closely watches Israel's military capability. With the Adir, Israel doesn't need to boast. The results speak for themselves. But such success doesn't come without criticism. Some international observers have accused Israel of escalating tensions by using the F-35 for offensive operations. Others argue that these missions prove the necessity of preemptive defense in a region where threats emerge overnight. For Israel, the debate is irrelevant. Their doctrine remains the same: never wait to be attacked. The Adir continues to evolve. Israel's defense industry is now developing new weapon systems designed specifically for the F-35I, including precision micro-missiles that fit inside its stealth bay. The idea is simple: remain invisible while increasing lethality. The Israeli Air Force has even been testing integration between the F-35I and AI-assisted drones, creating what military experts call a digital strike swarm. This allows the Adir to control or coordinate with multiple unmanned aircraft in real time, extending its reach far beyond visual range. In classified exercises, the Adir has repeatedly simulated battles against next-generation threats, including advanced Russian and Chinese radar systems. Each time, Israeli engineers refine the jet's software, tweaking its radar, absorption profiles, and electronic warfare tactics. It's an ongoing evolution that keeps the F-35I ahead of every adversary. What makes the Israeli approach so distinct is its constant state of readiness. Every mission is backed by a network of intelligence gathering, cyber warfare, and satellite surveillance. By the time an Adir launches, Israeli intelligence already knows exactly what lies ahead. That combination of stealth, data, and precision makes Israel's Air Force the most capable in the Middle East and arguably one of the best in the world. Even U.S. defense analysts admit that Israel's use of the F-35 has outpaced American doctrine. The United States focuses on global deterrence and coalition warfare. Israel focuses on rapid, surgical action, often under extreme pressure. The F-35I was the perfect match for that mindset, the risky mission that even the U.S. avoided marked a turning point. It wasn't just a display of power, it was a message to every adversary. Israel can strike anywhere, no matter how defended, and you won't even know it happened until it's too late. That's the power of the Adir. Since that mission, Israel has reportedly conducted several more F-35 operations across the Middle East, targeting high-value threats and tracking the movement of weapons from Iran to Syria and Lebanon. None of these missions were officially confirmed, but each time, mysterious explosions occurred at sites linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guards or Hezbollah. Each time, local radar operators claimed they saw nothing. The pattern was unmistakable. The Adir's presence has also reshaped regional strategy. Arab nations that once viewed Israel as an adversary now see it as a potential security partner. The Abraham Accords opened new possibilities for defense cooperation, and several Gulf states have shown interest in learning from Israel's F-35 experience. Even though they operate the American version, they know Israel's customizations make the Adir something far beyond a standard fighter. Inside Israel, the F-35I is treated as both a technological marvel and a guardian angel. Pilots describe flying it as wearing the future. The cockpit offers a panoramic display of digital data, a fusion of infrared, radar, and satellite imagery. The pilot becomes part of the system, making split-second decisions with unmatched awareness. In combat, that situational advantage can mean the difference between success and disaster. But perhaps the most important aspect of the Adir's success is psychological. For decades, Israel's enemies have relied on the idea that they could hide in tunnels, in mountain bases, in foreign territory. The F-35I ended that illusion. It can penetrate airspace unnoticed, gather data, and strike without warning. It has restored Israel's deterrence at a time when threats are multiplying on every border. Even as tensions rise in the Middle East, Israel's F-35I fleet stands as a silent warning. Each jet represents not just power, but precision, innovation, and survival instinct. It's not just about flying the world's most advanced aircraft, it's about how you use it. And Israel has proven that the true strength of the Adir lies not only in its technology, but in the courage of those who fly it. The mission that even the United States avoided became a turning point in modern air warfare. It showed that technology alone isn't enough, it's the will to act that defines military success. The Adir's success was not just a triumph of stealth and software, it was a demonstration of national determination. Today, as new threats emerge and the skies over the Middle East grow more crowded, the F-35I remains Israel's ultimate trump card. Its very existence ensures that no enemy can plan in secret, no target can hide, and no attack can go unanswered. Every time an Adir takes off, it carries the weight of a nation that refuses to bow to fear. And that's why this mission, the one too risky for even the United States, will be remembered not just as a military feat, but as a defining chapter in the story of modern warfare. The F-35I Adir didn't just change the game. It proved that in the hands of those who dare, even the impossible can be achieved.